Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Darcy Snowden, and this video is to help you understand how to register for the Artemis Roads 3 National Student Challenge. Okay, I'm starting out on the main challenge page, which is linked on the NSBE website. On this page, you'll find several resources to help you learn about the Roads Challenge and the associated companion course. The first thing you'll notice is this orange button. Scroll down here, I can go to this graphic and hit these positive arrow buttons, and that will take me to a web version that describes the challenge mission objectives and the associated companion course lessons. Soon we will also post a PDF version of the challenge manual, and that can be accessed through this link here. Okay, so let's go back to the process of registration. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom here, there's a box that helps me understand how to register a student challenge team. This year is a little bit different. We are asking educators intending to serve as mission advisors or mentors for a challenge team to register as a user on our website before they can actually go in and register individual challenge teams and request supplies. There's a couple of benefits to doing it this way. The first is that registering as a user allows us to verify and store your contact information and the information for your organization. This will save you time later because you will not need to re-enter this information on every form, every submission form, and the form where you request supplies. It also enables us to create a profile page where you can track the status and identification of your team numbers, basically see how you're progressing through the challenge. Finally, we are requiring an agreement between your organization and NSBE or Central Washington University. So by registering first and providing the information for your organization and its authorized official, we can go ahead and facilitate the contract signing before officially registering a team and mailing out supplies. Okay, so let's go ahead and give a preview of the registration process. Okay, if I click on this button here, it will take me to the registration page. The registration page has this link up top, which is basically useful if you have already registered or already logged in. You can kind of get out of this page by clicking on that, and it will go to either a login form or your profile page. However, if you're a new user, and everybody is new, even if you've done the Roads Challenge before this year, you'll all have to register. There's a graphic here, again, that can help you understand the process. There's links here, both to what the contract language will be. There's also a frequently asked question document here that you can look at before you choose to register. So let's go ahead and look at the form itself. The form is pretty short. You need to enter in your primary email. We prefer this to be your organization's email if it can be, but this is the email that will also be your username for our website, and then you can just add any old password. It can be pretty simple, just something you'll remember. And then next up is just some information about you. Okay, so your name and a backup email and then a phone number. And again, this is all going to be stored so you won't have to re-enter it. And then this is just a box where you can explain kind of what you are. Are you a teacher? Are you a parent? Are you the organization, the director of a robotics club? And how you plan to recruit students. And then go down here, just a couple more fields to help us understand your history with Roads and how you heard about the challenge. Okay, so the next one is information about your organization. Again, this would be the school name or the name of a club that you are participating with. Basically, if the students are part of an organization, if you're employed by an organization that is hosting this challenge, that's what we'd like to know. And there's a list of potential ones here. And of course, there's an other if none of these fit you. Okay, next up is shipping address. And this needs to be your organization shipping address. So unless your organization happens to be based out of a personal residence, this should not be a personal residence. This is where we will mail the supplies as well as the team recognition. And we cannot mail to PO boxes because our supplies are too big and they usually get sent back to us. So the next one is pretty important. This is the authorized officials information. Again, you can preview the contract that needs to be signed by your organization. That contract is a legal agreement between Central Washington University and your organization. The reason why we are requiring the contract, it's actually required by Central, And that has to do with the fact that there is a Washington state law that mandates that all educators working in a program like this with students need to have a background check. It also has an insurance requirement that is there to make sure that the students have coverage, but also is there to make sure that you yourself, as the adult mentor, and the organization as well as Central are protected in the very low chance that something happens while the students are participating in the challenge. The contract itself is negotiable. So you should preview it. You should share it with your organization's authorized official, but it's not final. So once it gets sent to them, and it will be sent from Central Washington University as soon as, well, not immediately after you fill out this form, but shortly after you fill out this form, they can respond to that email with their concerns, with their request for changes, with questions, anything like that, and we can negotiate the contract, and hopefully we'll be able to find a place where everybody that wants to participate in the challenge can. For example, if you don't have a background check through your organization, NSBE can do that background check for you. We just need to know that. If the insurance requirement is difficult, then there may be some exceptions that we can make depending on the type of organization that we're working with. Okay, so it's not a final contract, it is a starting point. Okay, but here what you need to enter in is actually, don't put yourself, unless you really are the legal authority for your organization, you need to put the contact information for somebody that has legal authority to make the decisions for the organization. So for a school, that could be a principal or a school district. So that's basically the last part of the form. You do have to verify that you are a human with a CAPTCHA. And once you submit it, we're not quite done. You do have to go and verify your email by checking the email that you put in as your username. Okay, so I went ahead and verified my email, and then now I can either log in, or in the other browser, I was taken directly to this page. This is my profile page or my account page. And if I click on the links to the left here, this is how I can both request supplies, register teams, submit results, and things like that as I'm going through the challenge. There's a welcome page here. You can view profile information. This is the things I submitted in that initial registration form. If you need to change anything, you can just send an email to NSBE. And then there's a thing here that says view mission status. Initially, this is going to be blank, but I'm going to, because NSBE has to go in and manually populate some of these fields, so that could take us a few days or a week. But eventually, we will populate this so you can see your mission status. In fact, I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, now it's been updated in our system, and you can see here that maybe initially it'll show that your contract has not been sent. Teams are not registered, supplies are not requested yet. What I wanted to show you is when your contract status, before it's been approved, you are not able to register teams. So if you go to this link and go to register and request teams, it actually says you're not able to register at this time, because this form will only appear once we have that verified contract status. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so that you can see what that looks like. Okay, now it looks like the contract status has been approved. So now if I click on this button that says register and request challenge supplies, I can now see the full form that allows me to register one or more student challenge teams. And really what this form is intended for is to let us know, NSBE know, how many teams you plan to mentor. And if you would like, you can also request challenge supply loans. So I'll just quickly take you through this form. Let's say I'm registering 2 teams and I am going to request supplies. I have to fill out an agreement. I'm going through this very quickly, but please do read these fields when you're filling out your own form, and then you can go ahead and request whatever supplies you need. Okay. Notice when you get to this page, actually, you have not submitted the form yet. This is just a preview, so don't forget to go through at the bottom of this and submit it. You will know that you've fully submitted it when you see a green box here, and then you're also going to get an email sent to you with the information that you put in when you fill it out the form. Okay, and again, NSBE is going to go in and manually enter some things in to their system so that they'll populate on your mission status page. So some of that stuff won't show up right away, but I'll give you an idea about what you will see once your team has registered for the challenge. So let's say that you have registered 2 teams like I just did. Your account, and again, this has to be done manually, so it won't happen instantly. But now if I go to my mission status page, I can see on here that I have registered teams, that they do have a mission ID number, and that the ID numbers are listed here. Okay, so again, as we're going through the challenge, you will also use these links to submit results for your team. Some of these links might not appear right away. I wanted to show you that this is where they will be, but we're not going to make this one, for example, live until after the deadline of the challenge. You have a little bit of time if it's before October 5th to register for Rhodes Professional Development. And if you are someone that has completed Artemis or Rhodes PD in the last 3 years, you can go in here and request a companion course supply loan. If you are not eligible because you have not completed a PD, you will see this message here. Okay, so let's go back to our main challenge page. Again, once you have registered, you can log into your account using this button here. And if you're already logged in on the browser, it'll take you straight to the account page, or it will take you to a form where you can just enter your username, which is your email, and your password, or if you forgot your password, you can request your password. And then just remember, this is the deadline, registration deadline actually is for registering teams. So go ahead and make your account as early as possible, and that will give us time to get that contract signed. And so we can go ahead and open up the form for you to register teams and request supplies. The earliest that we will probably be sending out supply loans is in December. So if you have a team already and you'd like to get started working on the challenge, we recommend that you start working on some of the mission objectives that do not require supplies or use supplies that you guys already have. Okay, thank you for your attention. I hope this overview of how to register for the challenge this year has been helpful, and have a great school year.